There are 5 overall stages of the creative process. There's preparation, problem finding, generating solutions, communicating those solutions, and persuading the final end consumer. Preparation is about gaining knowledge. You start off with general knowledge and you get more and more specific to your industry. There's 2 sides to preparation. There's the knowledge you already have, and there's the activity of getting more knowledge. The next stage is the problem stage, where you become aware of a problem and you also define what the problem is. Finding a problem is about activating your creativity. Defining a problem is about figuring out what the constraints are. What are the limitations to your creative solution? What can and can't you do? Moving into the solution stage, we have 3 different stages: generation, illumination, and verification. Generation is about generating many possible solutions to your problem. Illumination is about becoming aware of these potential solutions. Verification is about narrowing your options all the way down to the best one. There are 2 loops that go back to preparation and problem finding. When generating ideas, it's often necessary to circle back to the preparation stage because you find that you lack some specific knowledge that you need to create a perfect solution. When you're verifying a solution, you often find that there's a problem with that solution. So you circle back to awareness of a problem and defining what the exact problem with your solution is. Then you go back into generation, illumination, and verification. After verifying an idea, you move into the next stage of communication and validation. Communication is about taking a mature solution, the one that you think is the best, and proposing it to other people that are in your company or in your industry or understand your industry. From there, you move into validation, which is positive or negative feedback from those people. Depending on if it's positive or negative feedback, you might circle back to preparation, problem finding, or generation. Looking at how this process plays out, you can see that there's a continual expansion and contraction of ideas throughout the creative process. You begin by generating many ideas, and then narrowing those ideas down to the best one or ones. The second generation of your idea is going to have the same process as the first, except for you're starting with a different starting point and you know more about constraints than you did beforehand. The more times you go through generating and evaluating a solution, the more you know about the constraints that are important to success in your solution. The last stage is persuasion. This is where you communicate your idea to the end customer rather than to people within your field. Persuasion is about bridging the gap between what your creative product does and what people think your creative product does for them. Movement from one stage to another depends on a process called sense making. Sense making is the process that your brain uses to determine what something is and how it should relate to it. Sense making is about interpreting data. During sense making, your brain is observing data and it's comparing it to what it is expecting or what it is hoping for. For instance, when you move from illumination to verification, you're eliminating the worst ideas and keeping the best one. In order to do this, your brain has to use sense making. It has to compare what it is looking at with what it is expecting should work. The solutions that fail this sense-making process don't make it past the illumination stage. The one that does make it past moves on to verification and then continues down the creative process to persuasion. Sense-making is a process that links all the different stages of the creative process together. Preparation, problem finding, and generating solutions make a circle around sense-making, while communication, validation, and persuasion lie outside of the circle. The majority of the creative process takes place inside preparation, problem finding, and solution generation. Once the solution passes verification, it escapes through this circle and moves on into communication. From there, it moves on to validation and possibly all the way into persuasion, where the creative process is complete.